Yeah, I like to have fun. I'd get punched in the face sometimes.
Welcome back, NNP fam. We're here. We're having fun. We got Coach Emmer back on the mic. Excited to have you back this week. Another great week of lacrosse. I think this week we're just going to dive right into it. I mean, obviously, starting off with a little locker room talk. I wanted to start with the news that the former Boston Cannon and New York Lizard defender Mike Pellegrino has been hired as the next defensive backs coach for the Philadelphia Eagles. Excuse me. Pellegrino was a two-time captain, two-time All-American with the Blue Jays on defense, and he's also previously coached the defensive backs for the Bills and the Patriots. And I'm pretty sure, if my NFL memory serves me correctly, he now gets to coach the Amazing Whites in that backfield.
Exciting whites.
The Exciting Whites, not the Amazing Whites, excuse me, the Exciting Whites. But yeah, huge for Pellegrino. Got to be the first guy to ever go from lacrosse to go play football in the NFL, right? And like have a
First
role.
I've ever heard of.
First,
Yeah.
right? Well, huge. Stick taps to Pellegrino. Then NMP salutes you to being a trailblazer there. That's all I got. You got any locker room talk, Coach Emmer?
Big win for the US of A yesterday for the men versus Sweden. And then, of course, high-flying action out of the women today, scraping out a win, tying it late, OT winner, sick move from a defender. She dangled, and she's usually on the back end. And then the celebrations just all time.
Unreal. The backhand winner, the jump, the put it through the defender sort of, what do they call that? What's the between the skates and the stick, the seven hole or something?
The triangle.
The triangle. Put it through the triangle, jump through the space that you had, and backhanded through the goalie's seven hole between the arm and the pad. The game tying goal by Hillary Knight, who's an absolute legend, played in like 6 Olympics or something. Sick tip in front to get it with about 2 minutes left in the game. Couple of tight ones for sure. I mean, I'll tell you what, I was sweating the Canadian game.
Yeah.
I've got a huge future on Canada winning gold. I know that's not very American of me, but it was a financial,
you're a scumbag.
It was a financial decision. All right, that roster is so freaking good.
I don't know if they have Crosby though.
That's right. They got Macklin Celebrini, they got Nathan McKinnon, and they've got McJesus on their side. And even as a Jew myself, McJesus has got something cooking, man. Holy cow! But yeah, both those games sweating. Both powers, both 1 and 2 seeds found themselves down late in the third period, right? Or I guess US was up 1-0. US was up 1-0.
Yeah, U.S. pretty shitty third period. They just played not to lose, and of course got tied up and went to OT.
Right. But we got those games today as you're listening to this on Friday, hopefully. Friday, you've got Finland, Canada at 10:40 a.m. Eastern, and then at 3:10 Eastern, you got U.S., Slovakia. I mean, Canada and U.S. are not shoo-ins to this gold medal game. Both Slovakia and Finland have been playing great puck. I'd say Slovakia is probably playing the best puck out of anybody. But
Yeah.
we'll see. Here we go.
Now they got 7 AHLers too.
Ain't that, dude, awesome. It's the team. But all right, locker room talk. We babbled last week. We're going to try to make this episode a little bit shorter. We're going to switch things up a little bit. All right, we're only going to recap one game in depth this week, which we'll call the NNP Game of the Week. And then we'll, through stick taps and helmet stickers, we'll recap a few of the other games, just sort of touch on them, but spend most of our time sort of looking forward to the games this weekend. But there's only one game that we could choose from for the NNP Game of the Week this week, and it had to be the Orange hosting the Terps in the JMA Wireless Dome. Syracuse gets their first win over the Terps since 2011, but it was only 8 losses. The Orange got tallies from 7 different goal scorers, which is why I personally think they're the best version of themselves that they've ever been in Coach Gates' tenure. I don't know about you, how you feel kind of about this version of Syracuse, Coach Emmer. Kick it to you here for a sec.
Yeah, I think no doubt the best team they've had since he's been there.
Right.
Um, they're great through the middle of the field. They win faceoffs. They have a great shutdown defender. They have a great inside guy, and they're great between the lines. Everything else kind of takes care of itself, but they haven't had that talent up the middle in a while.
It's funny you say that. How do you think they are in goal comparatively from his time?
He's up and down, right? I think when he's hot, he's great,
Right.
and when he's maybe lukewarm, he's not so good. He's okay in the clear. They haven't really been pressured since BU in the clearing game, so I don't know who 10-man's. Is Harvard 10-man?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, so you never know. He could be better there, but when he's had to make stops, he's made them.
Right. I mean, I'm a well known for longtime NMP listeners. They know I'm not a Will Mark fan. I think he's better than Will Mark, personally. But we'll see. Certainly he did take them deep into May last year, so he's got another chance to do it again. But the man of the hour, Joey Spallina, got his 4 goals on 9 shots. He did it in a really high IQ way. All right, Will Schaller, the Terps defenseman, he's an eraser and should be on the Tewaaraton list, in my opinion. But Joey found ways to elude Mr. Schaller, whether that be on-ball picks or off-ball movement. And whenever he was able to sort of shake him, Spallina took advantage. You can call that whatever you want in a negative manner towards Joey, but I'd just call you wrong. I think he's using his lacrosse ability and IQ to help his team. He doesn't need to go toe-to-toe with arguably the best cover guy in the country to help his team and be considered one of the best players in the country himself. And to be honest with you, if he tried, he wouldn't be helping his team. I don't know how you feel about that.
Yeah, I think over the years, and it really hasn't happened to him yet this year, it's early on, but when the ball's in his stick just for an entire possession, they tend to be less efficient.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's a guy that needs the ball in his stick, obviously. But when it's all him, they kind of suffer. Whereas if they just distribute and move it around and get him a touch here and there, he could be pretty damn good.
Totally. Yeah. No, and I think, I mean, everyone who's going to say like, oh, well, if he can't take Schaller to the rack, he can't be the Tewaaraton, or he's a point merchant against these lesser level teams. I don't think there's a single dude in the country, not even your Tewaaraton winner, Mikey Weishauer, that can go toe to toe with Will Schaller. Like, nobody can. That dude's an eraser. So I just think it's an unfair comparison because of how high of a regard I hold Will Schaller in the 1v1 cover game.
Yeah, and Cuse knows that, right? They didn't let him go at him straight up very often.
Right.
It was a lot of 2-man, like we talked about last week. Same for BU. They are doing great on GLE. They're doing great on the wings, 2-man everywhere, making you make decisions. And it seems more often than not, teams are making the wrong decision, going under the pick and just letting his hands be free for either a step down from like 7 or just feet in the middle.
Yep.
I'd like to think teams will start adjusting there a little bit, but they don't. Cuse doesn't make it easy based on their scheme and just drawing things up for him.
Oh, and shout out Pat March, Coach March, a D3 Roanoke College grad, incredible offensive mind, and has got his guys in really good spots and understanding the flow of the game, and just a really good X's and O's and strategy type of dude. One of the best of the game. And if you're an X's and O's person, watch Coach March's units kind of play, and you can certainly learn something. But speaking
Great mind in general. Great mind in general. He married an upstater, got himself north. He's slugging down blue lights. He knows what he's doing.
Oh, man, I love it. Well, I mean, you look down the sheet. Obviously, Joey had 4, but the Orange also got goals from Michael Leo and Wyatt Hoddle, who both potted 2. Tyler McCarthy and Bohan and Peyton Anderson rounded out the scoring with 1 apiece. Tyler McCarthy's goal was stuff of dreams. I mean, top center, dodge down the lefty alley and just spanked the top corner, and you couldn't have placed it better if you tried. I'm a big fan of the Peyton Anderson kid. I just think he quietly goes about his business from that left side, and just a big body with a really good burst, surprisingly good burst for a kid his size, in my opinion. Battle at the X was a great one, statistically 50-50. I know Mullen sort of dominated early on, but Terps sort of closed the gap in the second half, and like I said, ended 50-50. I don't know if you saw anything there at the X.
Yeah, first half was all Syracuse,
Right.
And then I think Maryland won every single draw in the third quarter. I talked to Coach Aquaviva quickly after, who runs the unit. He said they went 3-9 in the second half, facing off for Syracuse. So I'm not a face-off guy. Frankly, I hate the position, but clearly they did something in the locker room at halftime. They figured it out because they turned the corner there with winning more draws.
Right. Yeah, Henry Dodge, the UVM transfer, did a great job, 11 for 19 himself. So he was over 50%. Yeah, I mean, just a good battle at the X, and that's what you're going to get when you get 1 versus 2, right? The Terps had 4 goal scorers themselves. Elijah Stovall being the highlight and what I would call a coming out party, personally. I mean, he did play in 18 games last year. He was 10-4 in those 18 games last year, but he showed out in this primetime matchup, going 3-1 on the night. Friday evening, 1 versus 2 matchup, only game going on, all eyes on him. And he's a junior out of Bradenton, Florida, by way of IMG Academy. We're still supporting IMG Academy, even though they're taking cartel money. We're good with that, right?
We're good.
All right.
We're good.
I mean, as long as it's green, right? But I mean, as far as the Terps' success, Stovall's got to continue to be a big part of it. Like, he needs to continue this trajectory that he's on. I don't know if you feel differently.
Yeah, and I didn't know who he was. I was there in the dome, and I just kept seeing. Is he 44?
Yeah.
Running out of the box, I was like, this guy's a mutant, and he's downhill. He's a true lefty, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And he hammered one righty on the run, so kind of for his first goal of the game. And then I think he had another righty goal. I think last year he might have shot the ball right-handed like 5 times.
Right.
Oh, and I'm glad you brought up he's from Bradenton.
Yep.
So is he just like a born and raised Bradenton guy?
That's what
where IMG is?
That's what it says. I mean, that is what the website says. Hometown.
You don't
Bradenton,
see too many
Florida.
local guys there.
No, you also don't see.
They're usually,
I guess I was going to say you don't see too much Florida at Maryland, but there's this group of brothers that played there who are pretty good from Florida. So I bite my tongue.
solid.
I bite my tongue. But yeah, no, he's gonna have to continue, because if you look at it, and again, it's not just him being good and like pulling the team along. There's the ripple effect. If you continue to short stick him, he's got to continue to eat, right? But if you pull him, his line mates are Chris Lyons and Zach Whittier, who are both grad students and grown-ass men. They're going to be a problem on a short stick. So it's that ripple effect, in my opinion, the sort of how you look at it.
Yeah. Yeah, and they got some dudes, right? I think their Achilles heel is their patience. They do a great job of just waiting for the best shot to a fault, and then sometimes just never end up shooting the ball. And that'll work itself out over the course of the year.
Sure.
And they had one of the worst man-ups I've ever seen in my life. The first half, they just passed around the perimeter and then threw the ball out of bounds to avoid the shot clock.
That's good, right?
That was wild.
You want to do more of that.
Defense never rotated. I talked to Coach O, and he was like, "Yeah, it was crazy. I kept waiting for them to do something, and nothing happened."
Oh, baby.
But they'll be fine. The one kid I was extremely impressed with was 52, the LSM, the complete giant of a human. he was everywhere. They couldn't.
Trevor Owens.
Yeah, I looked him up. He's an aerospace engineering major, a real psychopath. Played Division One lacrosse, starting and having that as your major is nuts. But he was everywhere. I was pretty impressed.
Boonesboro, Maryland, dude. Aerospace engineer, sophomore, listed at 6'6", 225, and he's got the Davis Mills neck going on.
Oh yeah,
Holy cow! What a space eater!
a freak. But yeah, insane game. Really impressive crowd.
Right.
10,000 plus in the dome. I treated myself to the Evan Williams Bourbon Bar. Didn't know the dome upgraded like that. I thought it was just blue lights, but no, they have whiskey on tap in the dome. So that was a nice treat.
I love it. Before we move on, I mean, I want to stick in the personnel for the Terps, and we'll talk a little bit more about him, I think, as we go to Headman. But I'm a huge Leo Johnson fan. He had 2 goals, but if you're someone who says that Spallina can't do it against great defenders, then you better be critical of Leo as well. His 2 goals came when Riley Figueres wasn't guarding him. Leo opened the scoring actually in each half. He had the first goal of each half. First one was he was dodging on a short stick top center, and he did pot one right-handed, which was beautiful, which is his offhand. And then his second one to open the scoring in the second half came off a crease feed from Chris Lyons. Figueres had to slide to support the on-ball defender who was guarding Lyons. Lyons stuffed it into Johnson, and Johnson was able to bury it. And I mean, I mentioned this not only to prove a point to Spallina haters, but also to highlight Riley Figueres. The dude is a stud and just flies under the radar because he doesn't look the part, quote unquote, where line mate Billy Dwan does. And I can't praise Riley Figueres enough. Dude's a stud both on and off the ball, and I'll debate it. I'll debate his worth with anyone, including you, Coach Donald, if you're listening, who I know is a big Syracuse Orange fan. Coach Emmer, you might know him as Big Tex, but I know Coach Donald has been very critical of Riley and the Cuse defense, and I'll sit here and battle that Riley Figueres is a huge piece to Syracuse's success and one of the top defensemen in the country, just all around.
Yeah, you were texting me during the game. And I was like, I don't really notice him, which can be a good thing.
Right.
If you don't notice a close defenseman, like he's probably not fucking up. And to your point, Johnson scores 2, not on him. So like, there was no reason to notice him all game, unless you're really focused on him. But watching back and looking more into like last week versus St. Joe's, maybe a little bit of BU, he's pretty damn good.
Totally. But here, before we move on, I didn't prep you for this, but I want to see if we can get this is a fun little game. I want to say for the Spallina haters, and I want to see where you land. I've got a list of attackmen here. Okay, all of them are on the Tewaaraton watch list, and I'm gonna say 2 names. And you're going to tell me which one you would want on your team over the other, if you could only choose one. All right?
Does this include unsportsmanlike penalties?
No, only on-field play. On-field play alone.
Cool.
Jack Spidell of Harvard or William Firth of Cornell?
Versus, like, pinned against each other or instead of Spallina?
Pinned against each other. Let's start there.
I'll do Firth.
Okay. Firth or his teammate Goldstein?
Goldstein.
Goldstein or Spallina?
I want to give it to the Jewish guy for you, but I'll go with Spallina.
Come on. Just be honest with me, all right? I know that's okay. That's okay. We control the weather, so it's fine. We got other things going for us.
Cloud seeding.
Spallina or Dominic Petramala?
Spallina.
Yep. Spallina or Silas Richmond?
Spallina. Richmond's good, but Spallina's doing it against the best competition.
Agreed. This is where it gets interesting. Spallina or Aiden O'Neill of Richmond?
I'll take Spallina.
Yep. Spolina or Eric Spanos?
Well, based on Friday, I'll take 22.
Exactly. Spolina or McCabe Millen?
That's tough. I don't like either one of them. You're talking to hater number one here, but I give credit where credit's due.
That's what we care about.
I'll take Spolina.
Okay. Spolina or Leo Johnson?
Spolina again.
Yep. Spolina or Owen Duffy?
I haven't watched Carolina at all, but based on history, I'll take Spolina.
And I think that's a tough ask. Like, I think Owen Duffy and Joey Spolina are probably the two most impactful attackmen in the game right now. I'll go out on a limb and say that. And then the last one, Spolina, since Spolina has survived everybody, Spolina or your boy Mikey Weishauer?
The buck stops here.
I mean, interesting little thing, right? Everybody wants to hate on Spolina, but you go through and you put up any of those other names that were attackmen listed on the Dwartown watch list, and it's really hard to take any of them over Spolina consistently. So just a fun little game I wanted to play, but
I enjoyed it.
I think closing out this game, I mean, there was a huge play with 4 minutes left, which may have been the nail in the coffin. Freshman D. Mitty, Jaden Kittleberger locked up Spanos in space, speaking of Spanos, on the high wing with about 15 seconds left on the shot clock. This led to a turnover on the backside at the end of a shot clock, keeping the game 11-9. And then, I don't know about you, I think we were actually texting about this. There was some interesting clock management after Cuse rode the ball back with 2:29 left in the game. They let the shot clock run down to 1 and called timeout, which was their first of the second half, so they could get their personnel on to ride, still up 11-9. They never even tried to play offense during that possession from 2:29 down to whatever it was, 1:13. They felt like every second mattered there, and they wanted to get their personnel on defensively. Masterclass from the staff that I've been critical of when it comes to timeout usage, in all honesty, as they milked the clock from 2:33 down to 1:13. And I don't know. What were your thoughts there?
I think they could go to the goal right at will, but I think we touched on it with face-offs completely switching in the second half. Like, why give them a chance to stay hot?
Right.
And just get your guys on, play D. They played great D in the fourth quarter. Just get them on, get ready, and defend them.
Yeah, I feel like I would have played a little bit, but then again, you're putting the ball in a position where you might turn it over. And I mean, that's why I'm talking into a mic, and Coach Gate, Coach March specifically, who I think was the mastermind behind that decision, and Coach Ordina are coaching the number one team in the land. But
and their IQ, their reputation is like feed the middle.
Sure.
So like you play offense and like you never know, they'll just be like, oh, we do this all the time. Let's just hammer it to the crease, see what happens.
I mean, there's someone's going to catch it in there, but anything else on that game before we wrap up, move on here?
No, we'll get to it, I'm sure. Looking ahead for the weekend, they should get another good test on the road in February, which is an outlier for them. But no, great game all around. Sick crowd, brutal traffic on the way out. Credit card machine was dead in the parking garage I was in. She asked if I had cash. I did. I said no, so we got free parking out of it.
Hell yeah, that's a good play by you. That's got to be got to be Autry's problem too, right? The Syracuse hoops team sucks. Credit card machine's broken. That's got to be somehow the Syracuse men's basketball program's problem as well. Because the women's program, killing it. 4 seasons of 20 wins in a row. That's got to be Autry's issue.
Yeah, he's out. Don't get me started.
All right. I mean, there were other games, but I think we move on. Yeah, I think we move on. Department of Player Safety. Do we want to touch on the Department of Player Safety segment? I know this was something that you brought to the table last week. I've got something I want to bring up. I'm curious if you've got anything or if you want to talk about what I brought up.
I'll probably have some thoughts on yours. Nothing crazy. I saw there was a D2 or D3 game with an insane amount of fouls. Is that what you were going to say?
That's exactly what I want to talk about. Adelphi versus Frostburg State. It was at Frostburg. Adelphi wins 18-7, but there were penalties. I believe it was 18 total. 1, 2, 3, 4,
No,
5,
I think it was way
6,
more than
7,
that.
8, 9, 10. Oh, excuse me. There were 10 penalties in the first quarter alone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in the second quarter. So we're at 19. We had a light third quarter. 1, 2, 3, 4 penalties in the third period. So that's 23. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we had 30 penalties in the game, none of which came with time expired. Like usually you'll see a bunch of penalties put in the book after the game, right? They dust up at the end of the clock. Nope. All these penalties happened during run of play. 30 total penalties in this 18-7 game. Adelphi visiting Frostburg State. Let's see. Adelphi was 5 for 15 on the extra man, while Frostburg State was 2 for 14. Like as an offensive coach, like you just run out of shit to run at that point.
Oh, completely. You run out of shit to run in the first quarter.
Especially this early in the season, especially week 2.
Yeah. It must have been cold. The refs are just trying to stay warm, blow their whistle more, get over to the box. I don't know. How the fuck do you call that many penalties?
I mean, I will say this. If we look at it, it sounds like it got a little chippy.
Yeah, it's a classic rivalry for Frostburg to Adelphi.
We had unnecessary roughness paired with an unsportsmanlike conduct. Unnecessary roughness paired with an unsportsmanlike conduct. Two unnecessary roughnesses paired together. 2 unnecessary roughnesses from the same team, 2 different players. We've got an unsportsmanlike conduct. We've got an unnecessary roughness. 3 unsportsmanlike conducts at the I would say at the same time, but one of them's an unsportsmanlike conduct at 4:50 left in the third period, and then we've got 2 unsportsmanlike conducts at 4:48, one on each team. So 2 seconds later, after they blew the ball in, if that's correct.
That's insane.
We've got a team unsportsmanlike conduct. Must have been a bench penalty of some kind. And then we end the game at 2:34 in the fourth quarter with 2 unsportsmanlike conducts matching and 1 extra unnecessary roughness. So clearly something was going on. There was some bad blood going on. There were a little exchanging of recipes after every play, it sounds like.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like, what are we doing? I thought Bryant Providence was going to be the high of the year, and they got smoked by 8.
Adelphi Frostburg State said, "Hold my beer."
Well, that's a great reminder.
You hear that, Fresh Pilly?
Thank you. Free house.
All right, so that's what we got on Department of Player Safety. Let's move on to helmet stickers and stick taps. All right. We brought this name up when we were kind of doing the little game of who's who or who would you take. But Aiden O'Neill's the real deal. Richmond goes 2-0 on the weekend. He was 5-1 against the Virginia Wahoos, and then 48 hours later he goes 3-4 on the Mercer Bears. I'm planting him firmly in the top 5 Tewaaraton conversation. If you listened last week, you know I'm anti-top 50 Tewaaraton to start the year, but Aiden deserves to be a top 5 Tewaaraton finalist. Maybe I'll do an official top 5 soon, but he's nasty. I don't know if you caught any of that or if you got anything to add.
I did not catch it. I spent my Valentine's driving back to Boston, which was super fun. And then right around and drove back to Cuse Sunday. So I didn't catch a lot of games Saturday.
All right.
Except for the ones I was financially invested in.
There you go.
But he is pretty freaking good. And he's been good since he got there. He was rookie of the year in the conference. Like 50 points as a sophomore, and then he really had a coming out party last year.
Totally. Yeah. The other funny thing about that, the the Richmond broadcasts, Coach Starja usually covers the Spiders in like kind of a color type of scenario, and he calls Coach Tremonti Danny. I just find that absolutely hilarious.
That is amazing.
It's just such a Coach Starja thing to do, to call one of the best coaches in the game, just call him Danny.
It is remarkable what he's built at Richmond.
Incredible.
It's insane. And we played them in the SoCon days, and like they were good. They weren't great, and now they've just turned it on.
Sure. It's got to be year 14 or something like that, right? I think BU and Richmond both came around about the same time, and I think BU's in year 13 or 14, so they got to be right around that same number.
Yeah, I want to say year one was 14, because we played them my senior year, or maybe it was 13. We played them when I was in school, but when they were fresh.
Sure.
I might have gotten in that game. They weren't very good.
All right, keep it moving here. Stick taps and helmet stickers to Penn State's goalie, freshman netminder Preston Hawkins. Huge bounce back after 2 less than ideal starts, and had a great day backstopping the Nittany Lions to a huge win over Princeton on the road. Preston had 11 saves, 7 goals against. I'm guessing Preston is praying for better weather in Happy Valley, so he never has to play a game day inside Haluba Hall again this spring, but certainly got to give him his flowers. And I think mentally it's a freaking huge win for the kid, because he had to have been in all sorts of dark places after hemorrhaging goals indoors. So big ups to the kid for sure.
Yeah, I was shocked to see that score. It wasn't really ever close.
Agreed. I mean, they blitzkrieged them from the jump. I think Coach Hirsch had to go into the 2-3-1 zone pretty quickly. I mean, if Princeton can't guard, then all the preseason accolades are going to be for naught. But we'll see. Hopefully, they can turn it around.
They will.
Ronan Doherty and the Great Danes, all right, gave the Big Red all they could handle in week 1. Doherty scored the 10th and tying goal in the fourth quarter, and it was absolutely nasty. Tight window feed, catch, and one motion, low to high, bar down. He ended the day 4-1. I'm guessing that won't be the last time we hear his name. And I'm actually, hold on. Let's see what he did against Penn this week. I think he had another good day against the
surprising
Quakers.
Performance at Albany midweek.
You think a little bit of a letdown or what?
Yeah, maybe blew their load Saturday in Albany. I don't know.
But, I mean, I think Penn Penn saw Georgetown week 1, who's a top 5 team in the country, and it was their first game, right? Like, I know they probably had some scrimmages, but, I mean, I guess it was Albany's first game too.
We know nothing about Penn, right?
Right.
First game Saturday, brand new coach.
Right.
So
right.
That'll figure itself out.
But yeah, Doherty went 4-1 against the Big Red, and then followed up with a 1-2 day on 6 shots against UPenn. So a little bit of a tougher day, but I'm buying stock in Ryan Doherty. I'm also crowning the Great Danes America's team. I mean, the Pearl Jam pregame is legit. They play a fun style. It's the perfect package for America's team.
You get to crown America's team when you bet on Canada?
I do. In lacrosse, I do. I do.
Okay.
I mean, do you have? I'll give you a vote, Coach Emmer. Now you've been on twice as a co-host. I'll give you a vote. You got an America's team yet, or you're still hanging on to?
Yeah, I have the cliche America's team of the Army Black Knights.
Army Black Knights.
Respect the troops.
Respect the troops. You're so right.
They got a big one coming up.
Oh yeah, big one. We'll talk about that in Headman, right?
Oh yeah.
All right, stick taps, helmet stickers. This one is actually going to be a pin. Coach Ryan Poley, 100 career wins at Boston University. Did this over 13 seasons. He's got 1 Patriot League title under his belt. The 100th win came over Siena over the came over Siena in week 2, and then 101 came on Sunday over Dartmouth. Speaking of BU, I'm going to keep the helmet stickers going and the pins going for coaching staffs. The BC Eagles, the Boston College Eagles, are led by BU alum and head coach Jake Cates. He took the Eagles on the road in an MCLA matchup to Texas, beat the number 6 Longhorns 14-13 in OT, and then 36 hours later beat the Baylor Bears handily 19-3. And actually, now that I say that out loud, I don't even know if it was 36 hours later. It might have been 24. But,
yeah, probably.
Beat the Baylor Bears handily 19-3. So big ups to the Eagles over there, even though they're not actually in Boston. So keep this thing rolling. York Spartans, number 12 York Spartans, and Coach Childs getting a 10-8 win over WNL, number 10 ranked WNL, so an upset rating ODAC champs WNL was, but the Spartans got the W. 5 different players with 3 points on the day. 3 goals came from Colton Mahorny and Gavin Gismondi. 1 goal, 2 assist day from Colby Berard and Davis Fisher, and a 2-goal, 1 assist effort from Jacob Mendez. Big shout out, Coach Childs. Coach Childs, the man, running a great program down there in York.
Colton, what?
Mahorny.
You okay over there?
Oh, yeah, man. I'm all Mahornied up. Last helmet sticker I want to give, and then I'll pass it over to you. I don't know if you've got anything, but the Elizabethtown Blue Jays get a chaotic midweek win over Stevenson. If you're on lacrosse Twitter, I'm sure you've seen it. Scoring from half field on a desperation heave at the end of the shot clock with 17 seconds left in the game to tie it at 19. If you like offense, go watch that film. So it's 19-19 on a midfield heave. Tough for the Stevenson goalie to swallow that one. And then the Blue Jays go on to win it in overtime after the Mustangs go offsides in a settled clear. Blue Jays get the ball back and score on an invert look. 20-19 at Stevenson on the road. Program-defining win for the Blue Jays, which was started, which I think, in all honesty, this win started with Coach Drew Delaney building the foundation, and then Coach Chris Brzezinski putting the next chapter of work into the program. Both have since moved on and must be proud of what the program has turned into under the leadership of Kyle McGuire. Not taking anything away from him and his assistants, but as he's led the program for the last 5 years, but stick taps to the Elizabethtown Blue Jays for sure.
Yeah, that's a hell of a win. I will back up for my helmet stickers. We talked about York over WNL. Speaking of WNL, Coach Meehan and the St. Joe's Hawks. What a week they must have had. You get your doors blown off in the dome, 18 goal win by the Orange, and you come back and congrats, you get Villanova, who just beat Penn State, and they surprise everyone and beat Nova. So that's a hell of a fucking coaching job. I know what goes into those weeks. That had to be hell, and they found a way.
What a segue by you to tie W&L to the St. Joe's Hawks. That's class right there by you. Well done.
I'm sitting in W&L fame. The real Coach Emmer was a general down there for 11 years.
I love it.
And then my last one, this is good to see. Another team that got absolutely boat raced a week ago in Siena. They get crushed by BU. They come back, whoop Binghamton, and it was 7-5 after the third quarter. They win the fourth quarter 7-0 to win 14-5. You get the first win for Coach Cox. Obviously, the horror of Coach Gleason passing away. I've been through that situation where you have a player or a coach pass away right before the year. It is hell. So shout out to him. I don't know him very well, but he must be doing a great job keeping that group pretty tight knit and looking forward to each game.
We'll have to get him on. We'll have to get him on a show here. See if we can get a bye week and get him on the Nothing Near Post show. But Yeah, totally agree. And on Liam Gleason pin weekend or whatever we're calling it,
Yeah.
every head coach across the country was wearing a Liam Gleason pin, supporting LG and bringing the juice. And Sienna finds a way to get a W in Loudonville. So totally helmet stickers, much deserved there for sure.
They got a little. I'm schedule hunting. They got a 10-day gap between Quinnipiac and Albany.
Let's go. All right, we'll have to get them on. You got any more helmet stickers you want to give out?
No, like I said, I didn't watch a lot over the weekend. I think, and we'll get to it. We alluded to it earlier, but Harvard, great performance Tuesday night. It was a shooting gallery. It was also a track meet. It was basically the biathlon in the Olympic Games. Like, that's exactly what it was. It was the biathlon on turf. They had 19 shots after the first quarter. But it was crazy up and down, just complete chaos. So I'm really looking forward to that game coming up.
What a segue as we jump into Headman. All right, next segment here, Headman, and looking forward to this weekend. Cuse is leaving the friendly confines of the 315 and the Dome in February, which is something we don't normally see. All right. Obviously, it's been a narrative, but last year they played at Maryland on February 15th. But other than that, every February game was in the Dome. In 2024,
that's below the Mason-Dixon.
Ain't that the truth? In 2024, and Venezuela is above the equator, but we won't get into that. In 2024, they didn't have a game away from the Dome until March 9th. And then on March 9th, it was in Charlotte against Johns Hopkins. I smoked weed with Johnny Hopkins. Name that movie.
Me and Sloan Kettering.
And then in 2023, the Orange played at Maryland on February 18th. They obviously have this February game going with Maryland, but then didn't go on the road again until March 14th. Now, full transparency, I have not looked at the other blue chip or top end programs and the composition of their schedule, home and away. But I do love that the Orange is getting on the road. Every trip here early is a data point for them to lean on as the year wears on. And they have to win big games on the road down the stretch, right? And looking further ahead, the Cuse is on the road for their next 6 games, including this trip to Cambridge this weekend, for a total of 5,288 miles. And I mean, that's more miles than people that went to the last Cuse men's basketball game, but I digress.
That's a fact.
I know you were in Boston this weekend. Did you want to touch on the weather in Cambridge this weekend or anything else about this game?
Coming up, it's supposed to be a little dicey, right? Weather.
Yeah, we're supposed to get a little bit of snow, but I think all reports are saying that Coach Byrne is going to make sure that the turf at Jordan Field is cleared.
Okay, and they're still serving beer?
Good question. Not sure. I don't think it's like it's not a community day, so I don't know if they're going to have. I don't know what Jordan Field's concession stand setup's going to look like.
Okay, I'll talk to Aramark, figure it out.
Well, it'll be interesting. You can probably find a cocktail at the Harvard tailgate, and you can probably find beer at the Syracuse tailgate. So that's probably where you're getting.
You can find a Tom Collins at the Harvard tailgate, and then we'll rip on over and get a Yingling on ice.
Oh man, yeah.
But no, it'll.
What are you looking for in that game?
What's that?
What are you looking for in that game?
I'm just looking for a battle. I think I don't know Harvard's defensive personnel very well. Obviously they got some dudes on offense, especially Coach Hutch. He's a real dude.
Yep.
So I think they can give Cuse a run for their money offensively. But I think I don't know if they can stop them. Right. I don't know how good the goalie is. Although he did I watched the game Tuesday night. He made some pretty good saves. And they're pretty disciplined, classic Harvard. They're high IQ. They don't fuck up a lot. I think the first quarter will kind of paint the picture. If Cuse gets on them early, I don't know.
Yeah, I like their goalie. I think the Graham Stevens kid is good. I mean, he's also a big dude, 6'3", 210. younger cat. He's a sophomore out of the Pingree School down in New Jersey, leading edge. Shout out Coach Roy. But I think he's good. I think he's good. I agree with you. I do think it's going to be interesting, though, with the Cuse being outdoors.
Yeah.
It's the highest over-under that we've seen this year at 26.5. Highest one. So to get to 27 goals, you need a 14-13 ball game. Outdoors, a little bit of snow. Like you said, a pretty disciplined defense from Coach Byrne and those guys. And it's going to be interesting. I mean, to be honest with you, I think Cuse matching up defensively with their attack unit, I can't wait to see Riley Figueres on Teddy Malone. I think that's going to be a hell of a matchup. Off ball, though, it leaves me a little scary that you're going to put Dwan on Spidell. So maybe you switch that. Maybe you put Figueres on Spidell and you put Dwan on Teddy. And the third guy is Nathan Koberry for Harvard. He's the lefty. He was 2-4 against Colgate. So you put Kaczynski on him. I don't know. I mean, Coach O'Dearn is certainly going to have a plan. They're going to be ready to go. But I'm looking forward to that Cuse close D against Harvard's attack. And then, like you said, Harvard's close D against Cuse's attack. I think that's where the game's going to be won and where the game's going to be decided.
Yeah, I totally agree. And, I mean, people might think we're crazy about the outdoors thing, but I think it's very real. Cuse gets no choice. They just get comfortable in their surroundings. Like they're not. I wouldn't play outside either if I were them. I wouldn't practice outside. It's brutal. I don't even know why I live here. The summers are nice,
right?
But yeah, they haven't been on the road in this type of weather in a long time. So will it mean anything to the players? Not really. But us outside looking in, it's just like a cause for concern.
I mean, they're going to be thinking about it. The Cuse guys don't play outside very much. They're going to be thinking about it. Harvard guys play outside all the time. But I think the great decider is the faceoff X. Like Johnny Mullen's one of the best in the country. How does he match up with Harvard's Owen Umansky, junior out of the Governor's Academy from Derry, New Hampshire? I think Cuse has the clear advantage there, and they're going to have the clear advantage over everybody they play this year. So that's certainly something to watch as well. NNP, I'm gonna be in the building, quote unquote, in the building. I'm gonna be at Jordan Field on Saturday. So if we got anybody listening who's also gonna be there, make sure you come by, say what's up. Looking forward to it. Next game I want to look at, headman and wise, Cornell at Denver. And now that I'm realizing it, we've got a lot of Ivy League that I want to cover. But Cornell at Denver. Unlike the narrative surrounding the Orange, the Cornell Big Red are going back on the road for Game 2 of the season as they head out to the Mile High to take on the Pioneers, who have been stout defensively to start the year. So stout that they rank number 1 in scoring defense, having given up 10 goals in their first 3 games, which is diabolical. Cornell is coming off an 11-10 win on the road at Albany. Denver coming off an 8-7 win on the road at Utah. Both good wins, especially as 1-goal wins, because 1-goal wins matter. I will say Penn, Yale, and Harvard all won game number 2 of their season, which this will be for the Big Red. Obviously, the Ivy League starts a little later. They don't get as many games in early. Penn and Yale bounce back after opening weekend losses. Will the difference in game experience so far this spring be a deciding factor in your mind, Coach Emmer?
Say that again. It broke up quick.
Will the difference in game experience? So Denver's playing game 4, Cornell's playing game 2. Will that be a deciding factor on Saturday?
Yeah, it could be. I mean, you look at Penn State, Princeton, same deal. I mean, it was game 1 for Princeton, a little different.
Sure.
I think it helps that Cornell went on the road and won versus and won against someone good versus playing, I don't know, an quote unquote easy game at home to start the year.
Sure.
So that helps, and I think you 75% of your team went all the way to Memorial Day last year. Probably got a pretty good season group. So I don't think it'll be too much of a factor in this case.
Interesting. Yeah, we'll talk more about it, see if that's something we recognize in the gambling corner. But, I mean, we can't talk about how good Denver's defense has been without mentioning the difference that Grayson Manning has made in the hoop. He made 20 stops in that 1-goal win against Utah, which is incredible. Utah peppered him, and he stood up to it. I'm ready to say that the righty sophomore from Victoria, British Columbia, is the best Canadian field goalie since Dylan Ward. You can put a pin in that, and this weekend for him will be another chance to prove me right. But just an incredible start from him.
You think he's better than Dobson?
I think he's got the opportunity to be. I do.
Okay. I just had to throw it out there to my guy.
I'm totally good with that. And to be honest with you, I overlooked Dauber. Maybe the St. Bonaventure thing had something to do with that. But I think
definitely had something to do with it.
Totally. I think Manning's had a hell of a start.
Yeah, he's very good. So here's an interesting nugget for you. Last 2 times they've played. So this is the 3rd year in a row they've played. This is a nice little home and home we got. Cornell put up 15 last year. And then the year before put up 17. Oh, no, put up 16 and lost. They lost 17-16 last time they went out to Denver. So, granted, they had the best player in the country last year and the year prior. Yeah. So that makes a big difference. But they did something right to put up 15 and 16 back-to-back years.
I don't think that's going to happen again, but hey.
No, I don't either.
You never know.
No. Denver's their defense is great, obviously, but having that patient of an offense really helps your D.
Oh yeah.
They you always think of Denver as like, hey, they got all these Canadians, they can score at will. They probably could, but they're just like Maryland in the fact that they're very patient, methodical. They'll open you up once the game gets going, but they're in no rush in the first quarter.
Good offense is always a good defense. There's no doubt about that. I'm certainly looking forward to that game. I have not watched Denver play live. I've only watched highlights. But yeah, Cornell coming to town. And also like the Mile High thing is real. I don't know if you've ever played out in Denver. Yeah. It's real. Especially week 2 where you don't really have your legs underneath you yet for a Cornell team. So I think that's going to be a big piece to what's going on. I don't know how deep Cornell goes. Now that I think about it off the top of my head, I don't remember them going super deep against Albany. So that's going to be something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, and that's it's a shame they can't have that game a little later. It's a 2:00 game East Coast. Like, give me like a 4:00. You're still 2 hours back.
Right.
I gotta really be dialed into Seth Tierney versus St. John's at 2.
Oh, Mr. USA. All right, couple other games. Had to shout this one out for you. You got Brown v. Providence, the in-state rivalry, first matchup in the Ocean State Cup. Had to mention that one for you. I know how you feel about both of those programs. Anything you want to add before I glaze over it?
I just hope Providence wins. I hate Brown way more than I hate Prov.
I was gonna say I hope they both lose, but hey, we can go with that.
Yeah, but Broderson.
Okay, that's right, Coach Broderson.
You were right. You were right last week. I overlooked the Merrimack Warriors.
Can't do it.
I did take them plus 8.5, easiest win of the weekend.
Hobart at Bucknell. You got 2 Navy and Orange teams, Coach Federaca and Coach Kerwick, both Hobart graduates. It's an old ECAC matchup, which I think is cool. For those of you that don't know, look back to the ECAC schedules, 2008, 2009, 2007 as well. The ECAC was an incredible league. Bucknell and Hobart were both in it. So kind of cool to see that rivalry renewed. And especially with Coach Fed and Coach Kerwick both being on staff for the Bucknell Bison. And then next game up, Princeton, Maryland. Okay. Which Princeton are we going to see? Are we going to see the top 4 team in the country that everyone was hyping up, or are we going to see what came out in week 1 against Penn State? The other Ivy League teams needed week 1 to warm up a little bit. Some of them snuck out with wins. Princeton wasn't that lucky. Where's your head out with this Princeton Maryland matchup?
Yeah, it's a weird one. I mean, somebody's going 2 losses in a row. I'd be hard pressed to say Maryland loses 2 in a row, just based on Tills is probably up till 3 a.m. every night preparing for this game. A couple red wines. But yeah, it's tricky. Like Princeton, you said it. We've heard nothing but great things. They're picked number 1 in the Ivy League, and that's a league that has the reigning national champs. So it's just who are we going to get? Can the defense figure it out? Can the goalie make some stops? And can you stop Maryland? Because Maryland will control the game. I think that doesn't mean Princeton can't win, but they're going to set the pace. So it's very intriguing all the way around.
Totally. I mean, if anyone can do it, Coach Madelon can turn a ship around. That dude is a guy that I think has buy-in from his players. Players believe in him and the rest of the staff with Coach Hirsch and Coach Mitchell. But Maryland's just a different beast, and I think this is what Madelon wanted. Coach Madelon wanted to be battle tested, right?
Well, this is good. Yeah,
it's exactly what you want. You don't want a cakewalk through February. You want to be battle tested. But that defense has got big questions after what Penn State did to it. Now, granted, Penn State was scoring goals. Even though they were losing games, they were scoring goals. So, but Maryland's just as good. And to go back to your 2 losses in a row comment, Maryland was 3-0 coming off a loss last year. They were 3-2 coming off a loss the year prior. But last year, 3-0 coming off a loss. So I agree with you. Tills is one of the best in the country. I think Maryland is going to control this one for my money, but I think the spread's like 2.5 because of what Princeton did against Penn State, and that I don't think it's going to be a 3-goal game, but I'm not willing to touch that one. But we'll see. We'll see. And then the last game I want to look ahead to and highlight: Georgetown at Notre Dame. That one's on Sunday, so we get lacrosse all weekend. That wouldn't be such a Cinderella win this year as it was in 2014 if Georgetown was able to beat Notre Dame. And in 2024, that Georgetown win ended up being Notre Dame's only loss that season, 16-1 on their way to a national championship game. But thoughts on the 2 Catholic schools going at it?
Oh, the fighting Catholics. Little side note here. Notre Dame, on the women's side, they have a girl with the last name Irish on the team.
Come on.
How crazy is that?
Destiny.
And I forget her first name, but she's got 2 brothers that play at Lafayette, and one of them's name is Billy Irish. Insane.
Not to be confused with Billie Eilish. Nobody lives on stolen land.
Don't get me started. But yeah, this should be an unreal game. Both teams that are young as far as the season goes. Georgetown got screwed with 2 games getting postponed, right?
Yep.
And I mean Notre Dame's played a couple, but they put an absolute ass whooping on Bellarmine midweek with 29 Genos. So that was kind of crazy. So they're going to get tested. It's at Notre Dame, right?
It is at Notre Dame in South Bend.
All right. This should be a tight one. I kind of like Georgetown. I don't know why. Just going with my gut. It's a big one.
Wow.
But Notre Dame looks pretty good. They can score at will, and I haven't watched either of them. so I'm not providing great insight here. I should probably shut up soon. Uh, but I just want a good game. I'll have the gold medal hockey game at 8 a.m. Get out for a pancake or two, and then come back for Georgetown Notre Dame.
It's 8 a.m. on Sunday. That's going to be the gold medal game.
Yeah, wake up early.
All right. All right. Yeah, to be honest with you, I thought we were going to get more out of Georgetown in their game against UPenn. Obviously, the Connor brothers lit it up. Shout out them. They're incredible. They continue to defy everyone's logic. Sounds like NIL money well spent on the Connor brothers for their graduation year for the Georgetown Hoyas. But I was expecting a little bit more out of the rest of the roster and didn't really get it. So if the Connor brothers have an off day and Rory gets erased by this Notre Dame defense, where do they look to? Where do they turn? So I think that's going to be interesting because, I mean, Sean Light can erase anybody in the country, right? Like, how does Rory Connor play off of that? I mean, defensively, Georgetown will hold up. I think they got a great goaltender, but Notre Dame can certainly score the rock, even with some of the losses that they had offensively. Now, granted, their competition hasn't been great, but I don't know, man. I think I'm with you. I think it's gonna be a great game. Although I do think Georgetown wants to play a little bit more of a ground and pound you, where Notre Dame wants to fill it up. So it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, that matchup, whoever Light covers will be interesting. He's the real deal. Yeah, I think for Georgetown versus Penn, I go back to it like they're in a game week, gets postponed. They're in a game week again, gets postponed. It's like finally we fucking play somebody, and they didn't look great. They didn't look bad. But now they just got a game under their belt and can focus for the rest of the year. I think they probably practiced for 7 weeks without a game.
Right.
That's probably hell. 6 weeks at least. So I think we'll see a better version of them. I'd like to hope they get some more scoring from other guys. But those two kids are pretty freaking good.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to Charlie McGurran for Georgetown, senior defenseman out of Phillips Exeter, Marblehead Mass kid. I remember recruiting him trying to get him to Boston University. Awesome left-handed defenseman. Love to see him starting down there at close for Georgetown in his senior year. So pulling for the local cat.
8 grounders out of that guy.
Oh yeah, dude. He talk about a neck, dude. Charlie's got a neck on him as well. Davis Mills 2.0. But all right, those are NMP look aheads or headmans, I should say. Let's wrap this episode with our gambling corner. All right. Quick look back at last week. Coach Emmer, Vermont -7 against Queens, cash money. Air Force +7.5 against Ohio State, cash money. Utah, money line against the Pios, nope. Okay, 2-1. You got Rotev, had Syracuse money line, cash. Boston University -2.5, cash. The Towson Tigers -1.5 against Navy, cash. 3-0 weekend from Rotev. You got In the Crease Al, he had Michigan -4. Denver, Utah, over 21.5. Drexel, UMBC, under 21.5. That's 3 strikes. Steve Harvey on what's the game show?
Family Feud.
Family Feud. You are out. We're gonna pass that over to the Emmer family. 0-3 and inked by In the Crease Al. And then NNP's picks: Jacksonville -9 over Lemoyne, cash. Princeton, Penn State over 25.5. BU Dartmouth over 23.5. 1-2. Tough weekend. But the dog of the week, Bobby Moe over Bucknell. Friday game, Moon Township, Pennsylvania. Cash money, baby. All about the Benjamins. Dog of the week is 2-0. The Hobart guys, Gavin and Wash and George, all know how hard it is to win in Moon Township. Shout out to Craig McDonald, Geneva, New York native, for getting a W for his Bobby Mose over the visiting Bucknell Bison. And then the VIP pick, again, we've got packages. If you want, slide into the DMs. Drexel -2. We had to sweat that one, but this was a 5-unit play, and they couldn't pull away until the fourth quarter, but there was never a doubt. Drexel -2 over UMBC and the coachless UMBC. Looking ahead to this weekend, we got some great matchups. Coach Emmer, you want to kick it off, or should we kick it off with somebody else?
No, I'm ready.
All right, go ahead.
Let me get my picks up here. Okay. I have Loyola -4 at UMBC. Coach Ward's going to get a W, and then he's going to leave me tickets at Colgate next week. Elsewhere, I got Yale +1.5 versus BU at home. Yale looked good in the first half last week, and then they didn't score a goal for the next 36 minutes. So that kind of scares me, but Coach Shea is going to turn that ship around. And then I have Penn State -4.5 at Navy.
No explanation needed there.
No, that seems too good to be true.
Oh, man. All right. Our Gambling Quarter contributors, Rotev, he's got Cuse -3 against Harvard in Cambridge. Excuse me, in Alston. They actually don't play in Cambridge. They play in Alston. He's got Lehigh, Richmond over 22.5, which I also love. That is NNP approved. And then he's got the sicko pick, which I love. Lemoyne Dolphins versus Holy Cross over 19.5.
Wow, that's low.
Low, right? Really low. And we will look ahead in the crease. Al, again, 0-3 last week. He's got Army -3. I know Coach Emmer loves to hear that. They're playing Michigan. Is that at home?
No, it's in Atlanta.
It's in Atlanta.
Yeah, the Mr. and Mrs. Emmer are driving up from Florida for the game.
Love it. That's a recruiting game for Army big time. I'd assume Michigan's probably trying to pull some people from there as well.
Yeah, all of Army's best guys are from there.
Right. Oh, man, those two brothers. I recruited the older one to Boston University. He's awesome.
So good.
He's awesome. Shout out Liam Banks, man. He brought Atlanta lacrosse to the forefront.
Liam was in the Dome Friday. I said hi to him.
Love that.
Yep. Casey Powell was there. Saw him.
Wow.
Star-studded event.
They came up to you and said, "Man, you sounded great on NNP, dude. It's so awesome to finally to see you here." Right? That's what happened.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. In the crease, Al, Army -3. He's got Richmond -6.5 against Lehigh. That is at home in Robins Stadium in Richmond, Virginia. And then he's got Penn -5.5. I actually don't even know who that's against.
Delaware.
At home on Franklin Field. I actually love that pick as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so those are in the crease Al's picks. And then NNP, we've got Denver +3 against Cornell. I also like it at +2.5. St. John's +1.5 against Hofstra. Another sicko pick of the week.
Game of the week.
I mean, Captain USA, Coach Tierney's got to find a way to turn this ship around. I just don't see it happening. And then I'm also doubling down on Lehigh Richmond over 22.5. So that's Denver +3, St. John's +1.5, and then Lehigh Richmond over 22.5. And then the dog of the week, I think it's staring us right in the face. The Denver Pioneers over Cornell at home, Mile High. The fact that they're +3 or +2.5 to me is crazy. I'm taking the Pios as this week's dog of the week.
I
Anything?
like that.
Yeah. Anything else you got that's staring you in the face?
I got a dog of the week too.
Talk to me.
I'm taking the Wildcats of North Philly over Rutgers.
Wow. Coach Emmer taking Villanova +2, but he's taking a money line over Rutgers. All right. There you go. There's 2 dogs of the week. All right. I'm gonna flirt with QPAC +6 over your Bryant Bulldogs, man. How do we feel about that?
We don't feel great. Yeah, the alumni base is getting antsy here for a W in 2026. But stay the course. Everything's in front of you. America East has not started. We could lose this game. We could lose versus Brown. That might really suck. But conference championship is on the horizon.
I love it. Stay the course. Trust the process. All right, that's all we got for this week. I do want to give a quick shout out with high school lacrosse starting around the country. We highlighted the St. Pete Green Devils last week. This week, I want to shout out the Torrey Pines Falcons as they go for their 8th straight CIF championship in California. And shout out to one of their captains, Christian Roach, Trinity commit. Go get them, fellas. Go Falcons. Best of luck. And I mean, that's all we got. Enjoy the lacrosse this weekend. Remember, if you're going to be at Harvard Cuse, keep an eye out and say hello. But Coach Emmer, unless you got anything else, until next time.
I got one more. One more bonus pick. I got the Skinny Alice Lakers over New Hartford in Section 3 hockey semifinals next Wednesday night. I will be in the barn.
I love to hear that you're going to be in the barn. We're going to need a full breakdown. All right, we're going to need a full breakdown on that one.
I got you.
I'm going to need that. The fact that New Hartford's made it to the semis in Section 3, I know that roster's been decimated by travel hockey, so love to see the Spartans battling back. People forget they won the state title in 2009 and 2010 back-to-back years, so the Lakers got their hands
Skinny Alice has won the last 3 state titles, so we'll see how it goes.
Here we go, buddy. Here we go. I love it. Until next time, you know the rule. Rule number 1, nothing near post. And that includes you, Brian Ruppel. And then actually, very happy belated birthday to Corey Bolkin, longtime listener, part-time contributor to the pod.
Big birthday.